If you guys think ICE is bad, and believe me, they are very bad. I mean, I have seen firsthand how terrible ICE is to peaceful protesters. It's about to get a whole lot worse if what I'm about to tell you actually comes true. All right. So, first, let me tell you what's going to happen. Then I'm going to go into all the facts. All right. So, according to a new report by Raw Story, the Trump administration is considering a move that could basically change how immigration is enforced in this country forever. The Trump administration is considering hiring private bounty hunters to help ICE locate immigrants across the United States. It's important to know that for decades, immigration enforcement has been handled by trained federal officers under what we thought was strict oversight, although recently I doubt it. They answered to courts, Congress, and to the American public, but now ICE is entertaining the idea of outsourcing that power, basically paying private contractors to track down human beings for money. This is not speculation. The Intercept obtained a procurement document showing that ICE is basically considering an incentive-based pricing structure. In simple terms, bonuses for speed and accuracy. The plan calls for private companies to receive bundles of tens of thousands of names at a time. And get this, potentially scaling up to 1 million targets nationwide. The data they'd be given includes government case files, photos, location, details, even social media activity. And to find people, they'd actually be using a practice called, it was skip tracing. Basically, surveillance software that scrapes phone records, credit data, and online behavior to track a person's every single move. Let's stop there for a second. I mean, that basically means that private companies, not law enforcement, would have access to personal data about where people live and work. And many of those people aren't criminals. I mean, guys, come on. These are asylum seekers, students, and workers waiting on legal paperwork. I mean, to understand how far this goes, look at the larger trend. This is part of a broader push by the Trump administration, all right? Their goal is to hit a daily target of 3,000 immigration arrests every day. As we've already seen, that net doesn't just catch undocumented people, it's caught green card holders, temporary visa holders, students detained after protest, and let's not forget the 170 plus Americans. I mean, just a few months ago, a college student in California was arrested during a campus demonstration. Even though he was here legally, he was released only after a federal judge stepped in. And that happened under the current system with trained ICE agents. So imagine what happens when you turn that job over to somebody being paid to capture. We have the Fourth Amendment, right? The Fourth Amendment protects us from unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth basically guarantees due process and the right to be heard before the government takes your freedom. Okay. But after covering multiple protests at ICE detention centers, occupations, and seeing firsthand the kind of force used against people who were practicing their First Amendment and protesting peacefully, just demonstrating, I'm not convinced that those rights still even mean what they once did. Okay. And there's also a deeper moral question here. When law enforcement becomes a profit model, people stop being viewed as people. I mean, they become a number, a target, a paycheck, and history shows where that leads. I mean, think about this. We saw it in the private prison industry, right? Where detention quotas create incentives to keep facilities full. We saw it in overseas wars where private contractors operated outside of military law and abuse followed. Now that same model is being discussed here at home on American streets in American communities. And the justification is literally always the same, all right? Efficiency, cost saving, results. But you can't measure justice in profits, guys. You can't just put a dollar sign on a human right. There's another danger too. And once private actors start carrying out government orders, who makes sure they follow the law? What happens when a contractor, makes a mistake or targets someone because of their race, religion, what they're wearing? I mean, who answers for all that? I mean, the reality is this plan would create a new kind of economy, one where immigrants become commodities and enforcement is motivated by profit, not law. And the people caught in the middle are the ones who still believe in the idea of America and freedom. The people who came here seeking a better life, following the rules, like filling out the paperwork and trusting that the system would give them a fair chance. This is like breaks my heart. I mean, literally, people are being swept up every single day at court hearings. And now they're wondering, like, do I go to court? Do I do what I'm supposed to do and actually, move forward in this process to get my citizenship? Even though there's a chance that when I get off that elevator, I'm going to get surrounded by by ICE agents or some police officer or whatever, and then I'm going to be taken away. And you know what? They're going to their court hearings because they're here legally. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then America is basically completely reneging on them and basically saying, you shouldn't have trusted us. And this will be a stain on our country for many generations. It breaks my heart because I do love this country. I do not like this administration. I do love this country. I'm just heartbroken every single day when I'm seeing these families being separated on television. And now we're going to have these probably ego-driven, uneducated, untrained goons that are going to be running around the streets with, like a $15 badge and egos the size of balloons, harassing, abusing, assaulting these really nice people that just wanted to have a better shot at life. That's what makes this so important. It's so important because if we allow our government to pay bounty hunters to basically hunt people who are trying to become citizens, then we're saying that money matters more than mercy and speed matters more than justice. This isn't about being tough on immigration. It's about what kind of country we want to be. Do we want to be a nation that believes in due process or a place where freedom itself is kind of outsourced to the highest bidder? When government power and private profit start to mix, freedom is usually the first thing to disappear. And I think it's important to step back and really ask, how did we get here? Because this isn't just about one policy or one president. This is about a long trend of privatizing government power. For years, we have watched immigration detention slowly turn into a business model. Private companies like Geo Group and CoreCivic have made billions of dollars running detention facilities under government contracts. They lobby Congress to keep those beds filled. Because empty beds mean lost profits. How sad is that? Now the same logic is being applied to enforcement itself, to the act of finding and arresting people. It's no longer just a private prison, it's a private pursuit. And that's a line I don't think this country has ever crossed, actually. And when the government starts incentivizing captures, you are creating a system where numbers matter more than truth. The pressure to produce results leads to cutting corners, and history shows where that ends up, guys. Innocent people detained, families separated, rights ignored. Here's the part we don't talk about enough, all right? These are not just statistics. Every one of those names on an ICE list is a human being, a person with a story, a child waiting for a parent, a student trying to finish school, a worker paying taxes and hoping to earn his citizenship. Reducing them to a line item on a spreadsheet isn't law and order. It's losing sight of who we are. The legal questions are enormous. Private contractors don't take oaths to the Constitution. They're not trained in civil rights law at all, actually. And so what happens when they enter the wrong home or when they detain the wrong person? Who pays the price for that mistake? The contractor? The taxpayer? I don't know. The taxpayer for sure. This is also a test of American values. We claim to be a nation of laws, but if those laws can be bought and sold through contracts and bounties, basically, then we're not talking about law anymore. We're talking about commerce. Commerce, guys. And it raises questions every American should be asking themselves. If the government can outsource enforcement today, what stops it from outsourcing other rights tomorrow? Free speech, privacy, due process. I mean, they all become negotiable when profit enters the equation. Some people will say this is just about efficiency. I cannot believe people would say that, but that's what every administration says when it wants to do something faster than the law allows. But here's the thing, guys, the founders built a system that is deliberately slow because speed without accountability is how you lose a republic. So what worries me most is that this is being sold as normal, as just another policy tweak. And it's not. It's a fundamental shift in the relationship between the government and its people. Once the power to deprive someone of their liberty becomes a contracted service, it's no longer subject to the same checks and balances that makes us a democracy. So as you watch this story develop, remember what's really at stake. And it's not just immigration policy. It's a question of whether America still believes in the rule of law or whether we've started to believe in the rule of profit. My name is Jared Sisser, and this is Ring of Fire. Stay informed, guys. Stay true, because that is how freedom lasts. I'll see you in the next video.